My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Slay the Spire. We're going to be playing the champ in Ascension 1. That is Slay the Spire Downfall. Mind. We're going to be playing the champ in Ascension 1 regardless though. Lose all souls to obtain a rare colorless card. Now you know I love that option, especially with the option to immediately upgrade it. Our max elite path is a 3 elite path. It doesn't look too bad. If I trade all my souls here, that shop's going to be a little underwhelming. Still think we do it. Yeah, let's upgrade the entire base deck. That makes taking out all of those elites pretty simple. Easy double defense attack. Okay, so what do we really want to try and do? I said defensive last episode, did I not? I feel like I did. So let's see how well that does for us. Get him. Backstab. Enter defensive, gain 6 block. If it's a berserker combo, however, you gain block equal to your fatigue. Crown Orang, deal 7 damage. If this doesn't cost 0, return it to your hand next turn. It costs 0 until played. Is this going to upgrade to be Technique? No, it's going to upgrade to deal 10 damage. If it doesn't cost 0, return it to your next hand. It costs 0 until played. So you play it, it won't cost 0. Right? Hang on. Is it implied by this that the first time I play it, it goes back to the top of the deck and costs 0, and then from then on, it will always go back to the top of the deck and cost 0? When is the if this doesn't cost 0, return it to your hand next played? Next turn assessed? So is it 2 or is it infinite? Costs 0 until played. So when played, it won't cost 0, therefore it won't get returned to your next hand. So it's just 2 triggers of it. Alright. Like, honestly, if I want to try and play into defensive, we might want to skip here. But it's also going to be really hard to find enough cards to be able to take out the elites pretty... Well, I mean, Apotheosis is by itself enough to get us through the elites at this point. At this juncture. Okay, fine. Let's play a little more conservative in terms of our card choices there. Alright. Should be an easy kill. Something like that ought to do. Circumvent. Gain 6 block. Defensive combo. Gain block equal to your counter. I don't really have much counter. This gives you counter by upgrade, yes? Yes. Flash Strike is deal 6 damage. Defensive combo. Gain 6 counter and 6 block. Enter defensive. So this is a good card for a defensive build, right? To be able to capitalize upon. 8 damage, 8 counter, and 8 block is not bad. In fact, it might be the thing that I should take here. I like the idea of going in Rage Bash with a really, really thin deck, though. Oh. But Apotheosis wants me to build a larger deck because I don't have to worry about upgrading those cards. They will be upgraded over the course of the fight anyhow. Say Flash Strike. We'll find another Enraged Bash run. Ooh, I really want to be able to remove that curse. Taking pain through all of those fights sounds like a bad idea. I'm actually just going to take the basic upgrade here. That's cute. Probably on taunt so that I can actually choose to answer defensive mode. Oh, so rather enter defensive mode. So the main value of this fight for us... Ooh, that's a good opening hand, though. The main value of this fight for us is just going to be dealing as much damage as we possibly can to the merchant. I'll take 2 damage here. Not scared of it. Well, the counter and block that we get from that is not necessarily helpful. So really what we want to do is execute, then flash strike, because then they'll decrease the cost of the next thing. From the Champion's Crown, entering a stance when I wasn't in one. Nice amount of damage right there. Encircle, Rapid Strikes, and Rising Strike. Deals 3 damage 2 times, deals 3 damage an additional time for each technique bonus triggered this turn. I'm gonna want to trigger a heck of a lot of technique bonuses. Right, that's a way to gain counter. Technique, deal 7, play this twice if the last card played was a technique. We're gonna find a lot of defensive ways to do techniques. Nah. Parry! Gain 10 counter if your counter is used this turn, add riposte to your hand. Riposte, deal damage equal to the amount of counter used. Parry would be really good in this build. Ah, well. Ooh, they heal as well. Rough stuff. Alright, Apotheosis, get him. Got him. Let's taunt our way into defensive. The finisher bonus for that is block, so that's probably going to be significantly more useful for us. This duplication potion saves us 9 HP. It can save us a lot more than 9 HP if we want it to. Or rather, if we let it. Okay. So we'll flash strike the front. Drop a sick execution on the back line. Beautiful. Taunt our way back into defensive, and then just play the rest of the hand for free. We're not going to have the damage to kill the sentry in the middle, so not a target for us to be attacking at that point. There's just 2 strikes against the front liner here. Yeah. That'll have to do. Oh! That's not what you want to see. At the very least, we do have the ability to weaken the enemy there, so we take 3 less damage. Got him. Shuriken! Ooh, that wants me to go non-defensive now, though. Tornado Punch deals 10 damage to all enemies. Defensive combo, gain 5 counter and 5 block for each enemy hit. Upgrades to 7 and 7. This also set a trap. Defensive combo, gain 6 counter for each attack you have in hand. We have a lot of things right now that enter defensive, but they have a defensive combo trigger beforehand. We need more ways to enter defensive. That said, the Tornado Punch is looking pretty good. A little bit of AoE that I don't necessarily have access to yet. Juzu Bracelet. Normal enemy encounters are no longer encountered in question mark rooms. I like that. I take a lot of question mark heavy parts. Not necessarily the one we're currently on, but I often do. Guess that'll have to do. Would love to play 3 attacks there if it were slightly more viable. I don't know if I weaken the enemy and gain 5 counter right now. Yes. Yes, I do. The reason I do that is because the last card I played was a technique now, so if we get Rising Strike, we get the double hit from it. There we go. Pen Nib, Focus Defensive seems probably the way here, right? Berserker combo, gain 2 energy and exhaust this. Defensive combo, gain 3 cards, draw 3 cards. Upgrades to draw 4. Oh, that's so good. It's up against Focus Defensive, though. Enter Defensive if you end the turn with at least 20 counter, gain 10 block, upgrades to 15 block. I've got to do that. I'm mad about it. I want the other one now. Let's get both overall. Let's have that happen. Just casually. Kind of hoping that was the one we're going to hit. Not that it'll really change the way that I play there. Dex pot, as well as there's a steel edge for a bunch of defense. Yeah. We'll be in defensive almost all of the time. Break the emerald for Dex seems pretty important to us. These upgrades are just straight statistical as well. I guess we'll just focus on upgrading the cards that are going to remain in the deck long term. There you go. And with only 16 counter though. I guess this is taunt defensive and then steel edge. This damage I can put out on the board at that time. Strike Execute is better for the sake of the pen nib. Really wanted the Apotheosis out there though. I didn't even draw into much damage this turn, so it didn't matter either way. There you go. You took only 10 gold from me this time, unfortunately. Again, I'm not really going to be able to do anything against your shop here. Lariat. Lariat. Ooh, but that's also false counter. Lariat is technique, perform X times, gain 5 block, and trigger the technique. That is a great way for us to block up a lot more, as well as trigger a lot more techniques, getting a lot more counter. False counter requires defensive. Next time counter activates, lose only half. We need more ways to gain counter and more techniques before we focus on things like that. Defensive style would be nice. Defensive technique grant 2 more counter based off of exactly what we just did. Endure, technique, cards block is gained by strength instead of dex. So not both, but instead of. There we go. Definitely want to Apotheose there. So get a good old Lariat out as well. The counter is just going to stick around until it's used. Speaking of, I guess getting the strength there is probably our best play. So taunt to weaken the enemy. And then that gives us the ability to Rising Strike 2 times over. Throw out a Flash Strike. And then I want to see if this is going to increment both of those. It is an attack, yeah. Yeah, it increments both of them, even if I'm not using it as, you know, an attack. Meat on the bone. If your HP is at or below 50% at the end of combat, heal for 12 HP. Love it. There's the defensive style as well. Duel is interesting. Duel is a really good boss card here. But let's focus on the defensive style first. Thank heck I put Tornado Punch in this deck. I could have lost so much HP in that fight. Defensive combo game, block equal to your counter. Yeah, I'll take a single copy of that. Didn't want to be fighting you again, but, you know. You win some, you lose some. I'll take my 2 points of strength and move on. Focus defensive and then Lariat. Lariat, defend, and then Steel Edge. There you go. Pop. Really don't do much damage fast. I mean, to be expected, but also, wah. Do I now take a copy of Duel? Yep. Enter defensive from Berserker combo. That gives you a technique. No. We also miss out on defensive thesis. Defensive stances finisher bonus gains 8 more block. That would have been good for us. If only. We'll enter defensive. Nice. Because now I can kill a target as well as block using the defensive combo counter there. No skill pot. Don't necessarily need that. Don't necessarily want any of those. Probably don't want the skill pot over any of those either. Ironclad is going to be generating duplicate statuses for us. Take 2 damage here in order to get a strength. Yes. Fight's going to be long enough that that's worthwhile. I do want that belt back. It would be not useful for me at all, but I'd like it anyway. Sure, I'll just steel edge for the defense there. Not like I would have done good damage anyhow. Duel would be nice, but, well, focus defensive. Lariat's not needed here at all. Fine. That's the order we do those in. We get our point of strength. We get decent counter. Okay, and block equal to your counter. Well, I'll stay in defensive, and then... Oh! And then ridiculously over-defend. I forgot that I had the counter excess from last turn still. Duel, and then double up on strike as well. Beautiful. Ignore Pain, Enchant Crown, and Sword Throw. Enchant Crown is interesting. We don't have that many expensive cards. This would be, by base, upgraded, right? I mean, I guess at least should we get it before the Apotheosis. A free Tornado Punch or Duel is pretty good. I haven't really played with any of the enchant cards yet. Let's give ourselves the ability to. Gain energy and add a random status card into your discard pile at the start of your turn. I feel like this wants me to have a thin deck so that I hit that multiple times over. And Apotheosis both wants me to have a thin and a fat deck. Fat deck so that I upgrade more cards. Thin deck so that I hit the Apotheosis earlier. Runic Pyramid doesn't seem awful here either. Runic Pyramid is often quite good. Yep. We'll take it. Use the right tools at the right time. Only over-defend on the turns that need it. Only under-defend on the turns that can require it or can withstand it. Should be good. There's literally only 2 elites on this entire act, and I am going to be taking both of them. Thank you. We can recall. We can be much more aggressive about not upgrading because of the Apotheosis. It's fine. Flash Strike into... Actually... No. We still have to Steel Edge. But... I'm gonna... Oh! Tornado Punch was okay, it should have been Tornado Punch. I didn't... For some reason, I missed that that was the cost decrease one. Don't know how that happened, actually. Okay, 14 there, and then a defend. We've got defensive style still. I'll take all of that block there. Enchant Crown is also always going to hit exactly the right target now. That's something. That's actually really good. It means I can put a very expensive card in the deck and be pretty pleased that I'm always going to hit it. Bring It On requires defensive or Berserker. Gain 10 block, gain 10 counter finisher. That's a good defensive tool to leave in this deck. Good finisher to get in here, that is. So Taunt definitely goes out this time. I can... Tornado Punch. I could Lariat right now. Gain 5 counter, as well as... Oh, this doesn't give us an energy back yet. Okay, that's fine. Let's go with Duel and Flash Strike there. Deal a decent amount of damage. Okay. Focus defensive. I mean, what would I even enchant? I just enchant something I'm going to cast anyway. Might as well leave it there for a different card. We got our full block there. Entropic Brew. Okay, that definitely gets taken, I guess, over the Dex Potion. Didn't really want to do that, but... whenever you enter a stance, gain 2 block and 2 counter. We don't really jump back and forth that often. Defensive Shout, draw a card, as well as enter defensive. It's a technique, and it gains counter. All of those are great. Another enchant card. Don't know if we need another enchant card just yet. I think the linchpin items in the deck need to be taken care of first. Alright. Oh, that's the only one I didn't want you to lower the cost of. What? Yeah, I guess if I can't put you on the ground. Okay. Got the Tornado Punch. And we can Flash Strike to get this kill easily. Anything I'm worried about can be handled by a Bring It On. So even if nothing else, that is 21 on the counter. More than pleased with that. Nice. The Shuriken and the Pendium are very happy for all of the cards that I have in the deck that do multiple. If you start your turn in no stance, gain 3 temporary strength and dex. That is a really, really intriguing card. I'm not going to use it because I'm not going to be using finishes consistently and going back and forth. But that's an interesting card. It'd be really good with the Runic Pyramid as well. It's just no, not right now. Not for me. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm going to leave this. I don't really like that event. It's a base game one right there. It's never been one of my favorites. Or liked. Okay. I am going to dupe the Flash Strike here, getting all of the defense that I need, as well as setting myself up with a point of strength. Come on, Tornado. There's the Tornado Punch. Ooh, it's just short. There we go. Unfortunately, we had to use the Tornado Punch's damage on the small gremlin rather than the leader. Pardon me. I've been lost in thought. With the Bring It On. When you enter a stance while not in one, reduce the cost of a random card in hand by 1 this turn. Huh. Enter a stance. Exit a stance. Enter a stance. Interesting! Stance dancing got a lot more powerful now that this does it multiple times thereover. It may have originally and I've just forgotten, but I don't remember if I've forgotten. Please attack me at some point, friend. Okay, we'll bring it on. Exiting the stance. Enter the stance again with the focus. That circumvented a huge amount of defense for us at this point. Positively ridiculous. I'm going to take it easy here. Take it easy. I'm going to take it breezy. And you best believe I'm going to take it beautiful color girl. No finishes in this hand. Tornado punch circumvent and hit me. At your own peril. Eternal Feather for every 5 cards in your deck, heal 3 HP whenever you're on a rest side. That's another Tornado Punch. Sigil of Victory. Technique, repeat this effect 4 times. So that's 35 counter. If it goes off correctly. That is to say, is upgraded and I have my defensive combo out. But it's up against a pre-upgraded Tornado Punch, and that's more AoE. AoE requirements next floor get a little larger before getting smaller. Much smaller before the end game. Okay, take the sigil. Question card. Future card awards have one additional card to choose from. I mean, look. I still feel like we're putting together capstone pieces of this build, so yes, I'll take that. Thank you. Still had to use all those attacks there, just get a point of strength. Defensive into Lariats. Yay. It did nothing. I mean, are we even gonna get this merchant down? Set a trap. Chain lash, backstep, precise thrust. Set a trap isn't bad. It's another defensive entry. Gains 6 counter for each attack in hand without discarding them. We don't have a huge amount of attacks, but somehow I feel like we're gonna have to tend more aggressive here. Call it a hunch. Battle plan's not bad. Very literally, it is not bad. I think I focus on removing things here. I think I'm gonna just wobble away from that one. Break that ruby. I'll have the defensive style become innate as well. Gives me the entry defensive at the very start of the fight, and obviously innate doesn't... I'm gonna risk it. Nice. Innate doesn't matter after the first turn. So it wouldn't have really made sense. I'll take the souls here, I think. It wouldn't have really made sense for me to, like, just let that upgrade itself with Apotheosis. That's a real good turn right there. Frontliner is going to die. Well, we take 7 damage here. A 7 damage version of this fight. I'm very pleased with that. That is more than good enough. 6 counter for each attack in hand, eh? Oh, that counts as an attack, so I can't play. I was kind of relying on that to defend me. Well, you got me, game. Get executed in response for it. Bottle Tornado. We only have 1 power and it's already innate. I don't want to make Berserker style innate. Sure, there we go. Bottle Tornado. Lose a Juicy Bracelet, Ceramic Fish, or Pen Nib. I'm gonna go for Juzu. It just gave me one, right? Of course. Increase its damage by 5 for this combat. Exhaust. I thought it was going to be... I guess that's 10 more damage on like a Rising Strike or a duel that happens to go off. I thought that it was going to give me a selection there. Oops. Who needs defense after all? Or me. As it turns out, me. I needed defense. Got him. Strategy potion. Choose stance to go into. Happily. Backstab. 0 costed. So another Lariat there as well as defensive style. Devastate here too. Deal 24 damage. Costs 1 less per finisher played throughout this combat. That's not going to be really greatly impactful for us. I'll take a second defensive style. Sure. We're focusing heavily on our damage being dealt from counter. So I guess that makes sense. I need to find some way to keep my counter as well. Yeah, we'll open with the duel there. Uh-oh. If our whole hand gets very expensive, we're gonna have a bad time. Seems like basically the only turn I was going to be able to develop that to the board. Yeah, I think this is a case for potion. Although, which? I haven't got any space in hand. So I can't actually generate anything there. Oh dear. Alright, we'll defend, use that space in order to get... backstep out on the fields. Which decreased the cost. And gets us into defensive mode, so we can do that there. And then, boom. Made our way out of it in the end. Defensive Shout is not upgraded. Circumvent still is. We'll take a second copy of that. It's in the same position. Good defense, no damage. Enemy gets those 2 bronze orbs. Yeah, I don't really have anything to do there. Oh, man. I want both of those. We do get to save Set a Trap for exactly the hand it is most impactful in. I do like that about it. Into the defensive shout, and then that gives us the ability to Rising Strike as well. Let's even bring it on at the very end. Yeah, that enemy was going to be attacking first anyway. I shouldn't have been targeting them with my damage. That's my bad. Let's enchant sword on duel. I think I will leave the duel until I kill that target. 12. I'm not going to be weakening the enemy here. I might want to save the Taunting Hand. Steel Edge. We'll do that, actually. That'll defend us as well as get us a point of strength. I might want to save the Taunting Hand until the enemy is about to apply a bad debuff to themselves. Yeah, I can get them to lose 3 focus here by playing it into this. Get him. So now the enemy's gaining nothing from that orb or any future orbs. Huh. That's wild. Okay, the enemy is showing as doing as doing double damage from the pen nib, but the pen nib is mine and they don't have one? Oh, no, they're just doing that much more damage by base. Wow, I must have missed when they played all those claws. Probably should have played Set a Trap just a touch earlier. Thankfully, it's no... Okay. Whew. Found some cards. Good. Okay. Shield Throw. Deals 9 damage. Deal damage equal to your block. That is a way to get a giant turnout, right? Generate a bunch of counter. Use the counter in order to generate block using the... where are ya? Circumvent. And then just dunk the enemy with it. There's also Hold Firm. Gain 15 block, gain 10 counter, gain 1 blur. Upgrades to 20, 15, and 1. I have to take the shield throw because the damage is the thing that I'm having more difficulty with, but still, wah. Victorious Crown replaces the Champion's Crown. Start each combat in ultimate stance, which lasts for 2 turns. We have a lot of technique bonuses. So being in ultimate stance for the first 2 turns is a hell of a way to get a lot of strength early. That's not how I win. I'll take the Slaver's Collar. Need a little bit of additional energy. This will provide that for us. Okay. Probably another 2 elite path here. Unless we desperately need bail out of it. Anything that exhausts or draws. Still a pretty good early upgrade here. Because we're going to want to play those before we get to Apotheosis to get to Apotheosis. And exhaust because if we do play them earlier, we want to still get good effects out of them. Definitely enchant the duel. And I will throw an extra defend. I've overfilled my hands a lot of times here, and I don't want to necessarily do that again, if I can avoid it. Okay, we set a trap, then we circumvent that trap, and we shield throw the enemy with a lethal. It's exactly the kind of thing that I said we were going to be doing earlier, and now we're doing it. Shield Wall, gain 2 decks at the start at the end of each turn, gain 9 counter. What? Two decks is a lot of decks to this deck. Is it? No, we scale with counter. I don't know if we need any of these then. Duel's kind of interesting, but our energy makes it a little harder for us to consider. It's too deeply. Alright. Hit him with the lariat. Beautiful. Sigil of Victory all the way to the moon. We'll also get the duel to be as free as it can. And one old circumventory there. I guess we're looking for shield throw for possible lethal. Okay. We'll bring it on, exiting the stance. Re-enter the stance. Double up on Rising Strike, and sure. Come on. Hey, shield throw! Into execute, which was always the plan. I definitely didn't think shield throw was gonna be the kill there, and I didn't do anything that would make you think such. False counter, we'd already asked for it earlier, so don't necessarily need to check that one. Third time you enter a stance each turn, gain 2 energy and draw, gain an energy and draw 2 cards. I like the idea of it, and if this deck got that earlier, I think I would have actually pivoted into it as our energy generation options. However, at the moment, I don't think I will. Horncleat's not bad. Horncleat and Happy Flower are quite good. In fact, I think I will be taking both. As for removals, happy to start removing basic strikes now. Give me the Rare Relic. That's mine. Y'all have just been the stewards of it for a while. I don't need to spend any of my potions in this fight. We get the extra 14 block this turn from the Horncleat. That was an enchant on the duel there, and then we defend, taking 1 damage this turn as well. Oh, this is not going great. Tornado Punch into Bring It On into Shield Throw. Seems probably our best hit here. And that'll kill the frontliner as well. Unfortunately, I cannot defend on this following turn either. Cannot gain block from cards. Well, yeah, that's going to be a problem for us. It's going to make it difficult to gain block from cards. Well deserved, but I still think I did have to do it. Doing a heck of a lot of these in the wrong order, but we're at the point that any of those clicked would have killed Calipers at the start of your turn, lose 15 block rather than all bet. That is incredible, and we should now be fine. I want that drawing card now. That's all I want. Refreshments. Treasury for a relic, thank you. Perfect. Sapphire Key is exactly the kind of relic I want to see there. One that I don't want. Get the Tornado Punch out. The AoE is going to get significantly weaker over the course of the rest of the run. Sundial, perfect. Staying defensive. False counter. Nice. Back into defensive style and keep it going. Party don't stop. Okay. So I'll throw out the strike there. And another one to the front line as well. Sure. God, our potions are so powerful. I just never want to use them. I'll take a second, bring it on. Okay, now we've got a lot of entry and a lot of exit for our stances. 2 additional cards in the opening hand is huge here. Absolutely monumental. I'll take that. I'll cut a strike. I intend to cut another card next floor. Good position for a duel. If we weren't weak in this turn, I would look into something like a circumvent shield throw. But we are, so I shan't. Also get rid of that just for the full draw next turn too. Battle plan, then we bring it on. And then we taunt our way back into defensive. Okay. Then we lariat. Bend. Do I shield throw for 100 and whatever damage there? No. But I will circumvent. We're keeping a lot of the block with the calipers. At least that's the general idea here. Just exit this stance. And then re-enter it. 260? Yeah. That's time to pull the trigger on that one. Defensive style into Sigil of Victory with a false counter. Circumvent first and then false counter because that's going to be a finisher. All right, come on. Beautiful. When a defensive deck can get... Oh my god. When a defensive deck can get past the giant head without too much of an issue, you know you're in a good position. That's often kind of a dead stop. Pun not intended, but broadly accepted for many defensive runs. Ooh, really? Been a while since I've not been able to enter defensive mode almost immediately. Barely know how not to. Set a trap with 1 card? I don't know about that. Sure, circumvent for just giant defense on that turn, leaving us open to a shield throw on a following turn such as this. Circumvent. I bring it on a shield throw. There we go. Bought me back. 146 coming your way. Okay, I feel like we set this deck up correctly now. I was pretty uncertain of it for a while, to be entirely frank with you. I was kind of feeling like I was possibly going to die. Don't really feel like that at all anymore. The cards that exhaust. Stick to the previous things that I'd said about those. Look, that shop has absolutely nothing for us. It can't. It's enchant sword on the shield boomerang, I guess. defense. Okay, another focused defensive into Rising Strike. Shield throw? Yes, but not on the target that's attacking, because that one is just going to take the counter damage, and then I should be able to end the fight on my own accord. Gladiator form. Whenever you use a techniques bonus, draw a card. Whenever you use a finisher bonus, gain an extra energy next turn. Yep. It was up against On Guard, which I actually didn't look at. I almost certainly should have looked at there. The reason I took the stance is because it provides a lot of energy and a lot of draw for a deck that is managing its techniques and its finishes such as ours. However, it's also oftentimes free, as long as we have the Enchant Crown in hand at the right time. Yep, that was all managed wrong. Needed to keep an eye on the need to keep an eye on the pen nib there. Okay, Gladiator form, Laureate. Gaining energy back after that. And then we use the Circumvent. Pretty giant amount of defense. It kills the frontliner. We take 6 damage total there. We unveil this next enemy. Oh, right. We didn't have the ability to draw all of those, of course. Okay. Let's set a trap and then bring it on. Defensive shout our way back into it. Yes, Enchanted Crown there. Yeah, we're gonna have to use a lot of finishes here. Okay. False counter. That's a finisher. And then we get back out of the finisher. And we bring it on. And we taunt. I actually kind of want to extend this fight far beyond how long it actually needs to run, because literally lethal. It's fine. We'll have opportunities to do that later. Ice cream. Energy is now conserved between turns. Okay. I want another bring it on. What's the balance in the deck at the moment? So 1 finisher, 2 finisher, red finisher, blue finisher. Okay, so we have 4 of them. And then entries, we have 1, 2, 3. 2 of them non-repeatable because they're powers. 4, 5, 6. I'm going to take the Bring It On, but I do need to also take another defensive entry at this rate. It's enough block to keep us comfy this turn, at least. Incoming is 23. Okay, well, about a bunch of sigils of victory right there. The Rising Strike, naturally. Bring it on, and I will double extra defend. I know that I could have saved the energy with the Ice Cream, however, right now I'm saving the defense with the Calipers anyway, so I'm still getting value. Expensive shout for our entry. And Laureate False Counter sets us up for just the frontliner? Yeah. We're closing it down on the backliner now. Duel only worked once. Alright, was not expecting that. I think I have seen that before though. Preemptive Strike. requires defensive. Deal damage equal to your counter to all enemies. Lose half your counter. Well, that's more AoE. There's also on guard technique, gain 8 block. If your block is broken this turn, gain another 11 next turn. Okay, so that's significantly changed from what it was previously. Second preemptive strike, just as fun. I honestly kind of want to take the speed potion here, because if I find any artifacting in the next shop, it would just lock a fight for us. It would lock said fight in the W column. For Bowser's Trousers, I won. So what that one stands for. Okay, that's our exit, and then another re-entry. There's the Lariat. I'll exit again. And defend. Huh? Savvy? Oh my god, the enemy's not even attacking here. This is the Watcher with Mantra. $55, 116. I can't hold on to these any longer, can I? Well, I can hold on to Preemptive Strike longer. I don't need to use it right now. Shield Throw I should throw. If I don't throw Shield Throw, I'm throwing. Hang on. Executes another stance exit, but I don't have a stance entry in hand, so it's a little harder for us to use. The entire reordering of my hand there makes it a bit rough on us to re-understand the hand initially, at least. Preemptive, 44. That doesn't even go through that much. I think we actually might have better time later for a preemptive strike. It's okay, we'll have a post-emptive strike. That's a lot of preemptory right there. 110? Worth. Is the gladiator form finally coming up soon? Okay, we duel. Execute. Getting our way out of that. We'll taunt our way back into defensive. Lucky with your counter. So I'll strike the enemy 2 more times there and just wait. We don't really need to be quick about this at all. Okay. Gladiator form and then battle plan, trying to get a bunch of extra cards that give us defense exits. Great. I'm gonna let the enemy go Mantra, Divinity. I'm gonna let them do that this turn. We bring it on. Defensively enter. Bring it on. Defensively enter. Bring it on. Defend. All right, the incoming damage is 120. And my only question is, how do we want to live through that? Rather than can we? Good position to be in. Perfect. We get our 957 donated to the heart here. We've got a upcoming fight against the shopkeeper. We should have the ability to remove after it. Oh, 125. I don't know if this guy drops money. So I hope he does. I'm going to hold off there. This time it is just for keeping the extra energy. Okay. Defensive shout. Shout sword. We've got to go Rising Strike next if I actually want to get a good effect out of that. Which means it's not the Rising Sword's target. It's a good enough shield throw, especially considering it gives us a point of strength. Gladiator form, good to see it. Okay, we now exit this stance and then enter another stance. At this point, I'm just trying to play around gaining more energy next turn. Okay, Enchant Crown definitely on the execute. Oh, speaking of execute, we'll exit the stance, enter a new one. Drawing a bunch of cards with that Sigil of Victory as well. Much obliged. Circumvent into Focus Defensive. Can we? No. Alright, fine. Just hit him with the Preemptive Strike and then let them hit themselves with the counter. It's very, very fast for an aggressive deck. Refreshment! But I don't need that draw anymore. I needed it back when I did not have Guardian, but now that I have Guardian, I don't. And hey, we did get money from that, so we do. Ah, come on! Come on! I was hoping for this all game. Fancy Footwork is interesting. Requires Defense or Berserker. Enter the stance you aren't in. Draw a card. Yeah, if we're going to be drawing really, really quickly to try and get to the most powerful cards, I want to play the Gladiator form as soon as I draw it, so just decreasing its energy cost, considering it is the most important thing. That upgrade is less impactful, but that card is more impactful than other cards. Could have been a lot worse. Can't be a lot worse than this turn, though. Ouch. Just gonna take my lumps on that one. Good lord. Again? Can't find stance entry for the absolute life of me right now. I thought it was more liberally spread throughout the deck. I can't hold on to all of these cards as well, so some of these are just going to have to get cast. Set a trap enters defense. Okay, I totally forgot that it did that. Okay, we're fine then. We... Just gonna keep as much defense as I can here. We've still got more entries left in the deck. We've got a lot of them, in fact. There we are. Defensive shout for the entry, and then I go for the draw. Oh, haunted. Okay, I can't keep these cards in hand at the end of the turn, so any of the ones I care about I ought to use. Requires defensive, so I have to use that before I use the brings it on. could have cast one of those first. Execute doesn't need to be in a stance to be used. The other ones do. Well, we lost a lot of our finishes there, which is going to significantly change the way this deck is played. I need that one. Alright, you need to die first. All of my draw power is tied up in that. It dies. I get to keep a bunch of defense for probably the rest of the fight. Time to draw a bunch of cards from the Laureate. Hell yeah. Those wounds never get out of my hand as well, by the way. So now we are, like, size limited here, too. Shield throw is ethereal, so I do have to try and use it here. That is, if I want continued access to it, and I do. Again, duel does not count. This is a single target right now, so I can't use that against the Watcher. Honestly, the fact that these aren't counted as a single target, you know, despite the fact there is another enemy off screen, like, I understand the reasoning for that, as well as for the Dark Slimes, but it does make the duel a lot worse. Okay. Set the trap, exit the mode, enter the mode. I don't need to give the enemy divinity on turn 1 necessarily, but I also don't think it would have been a problem should I have done so. And to prove it, I will set up my hand thusly. Perfect, perfect. Now if we... Icing Strike, throw out a defensive, and then a preemptive. Now we get the enemy to hit us. Excellent, excellent. It's got to be a duel for defensive. And just make sure that I leave myself with so much block that the enemy will never really do anything. I'm almost sorry about it. Almost. And then here we just pop as many effects as we want, as early as we want. Now gains 2 artifacts at the end of the turn if she has no artifact. She's also got the mantra, and she's got the random status. So we generate the power before we hit an apotheosis here. First time you use a combo each turn, return to your hand to cost your own to play it. I mean, look. Yes. Yes, that'll be it. Gives me the ability to stance re-enter on this turn. Lord definitely needs to get out of here. Got a lot of stance entries in hand. I should probably stop using them. Circumvent is going to be such a great way of generating defense here. By which I mean offense, because shield throw. Haunted, come on. Why now? I was having fun. Go for the shield throw. Shield throw is now counted as a combo. Okay, so it jumps back to hand. Oh, hell yes. Extremely pleased with that. I need to make sure that we still have defensive stuff in hand after this. Sorry, defensive entries in hand. Or in deck, I guess? Need to get rid of a lot of things in hand because Laureate's going to draw us a bunch of cards. Yep. So will Sigil of Victory. Should I let it? I think it will. Do I want to circumvent now? Ooh, excess energy. Don't mind if I do. Alright. Let's Rising Star our way into a shield throw. Should have circumvented before that. Rising Star was in the shield throw. Got it. We're already in defensive mode, so Battle Plan is card draw 2 for us. A lot of exits, but not a lot of entries, so we'll use the slime and then card draw 2. Fine, then exit, re-enter. I guess re-exit. Yeah, rest of the deck's not that trashy. Defensive shout. Well, I'm not going to be able to change stance after that, so... Laureate, and we'll see what we draw. We are more than at the point that we can just wait for the enemy to hit us and die. But why deny the shield throw its dues here? Unfortunately, I wasn't in the defensive stance. Let's play that, see if we get it. Nope, didn't get into the defensive stance. Defensive stance? Nope. Fine. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. Standing up straight. Not really bracing, no motorcycle brace or dukes up. Not ready for a match of fisticuffs. As per the other stances, but we did hunt a whale. The moment. My name is Rhapsody. That has been Slay the Spire Downfall. We did get the defensive stance we were asking for. Now we can ease up on pushing, you know, specific strategies there. Obviously, there's still a bunch of cards that I want to play around, but those are going to be more card-related than I would just like to do the opposite stance than I did last time. Now having demonstrated the Berserker and the defensive stance since the 3.0 update. For the moment, though, hopefully you've been enjoying yourself. So there's a playlist in the description down below with all of my contents of the game, past, present, and future, and hopefully we'll see you next time.